This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
That's right, Ray D, Kenny B, together again. That in itself is special, at least it is for me.
Yep.
Not sure about him, but what makes it even more special is that we're spending the next half hour with you.
Yes, indeed, and you picked a great time to check in because we have put together a great show for you. Coming up, students in Madison put their dairy knowledge to the test in the Southern Regional Dairy Challenge. Find out how this collegiate competition isn't just about winning, but immersing these future dairy professionals in the industry. Also on the program, discover the diverse impact trees have on our daily lives and explore the fascinating process at Flint River Nursery, where over 200 million trees kickstart a cycle that goes far beyond timber production. Plus, join us on a journey through time and tradition, from the vintage farmhouse to the sweet syrup that binds generations. It's a century of dedication etched in the roots of Georgia's farmland. These stories and more starting right now. Well, students from all corners of the Southeast came together recently for the Southern Regional Dairy Challenge. But as John Holcomb tells us, it's not just any competition. It's all about boosting the dairy industry by teaching and getting the next wave of dairy pros ready to roll.
At this dairy in Madison, these students are putting their knowledge they've learned in the classroom to the ultimate test, as they're competing in what's known as the Southern Regional Dairy Challenge, a collegiate competition that's meant to immerse them in the dairy industry.
Dairy Challenge is a management-based event where students actually come on and evaluate a farm from their records to visual appraisals to give a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this morning they get about 2 hours on farm. Last night they got their records, so now they're reconciling what they're seeing on the farm with the records that they got last night, and they have an opportunity to interview farm management as well. So they're spending time from baby calves to lactating cows, just looking at everything around the farm.
The challenge consisted of students from several schools, and though the challenge is an actual competition, the purpose is meant to be more of an educational experience for them.
We have teams from across the Southeast, right around 60 students here, from anywhere from Virginia Tech, West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, Georgia, of course. And so what they do is they come here and we actually mix the teams up. So they don't compete as a school, and we do that very intentionally so that the students learn to work with other people that maybe they're not used to working with. It also takes out some of the competitive nature, because what we really want to emphasize is that they're here to learn and grow. The national contest is where they really get to compete. So they come here, they're mixed with students from other schools. They get a mentor, and the mentor is really to help guide them. So if they get lost in the data or if they don't know what to look at here on farm, that mentor is someone in industry that can maybe help direct them to the right location. Again, because the whole purpose is education.
Of course, another important aspect of the challenge is that it gives the competitors a chance to see and learn about the dairy industry in a way they might not have before, and allows them the opportunity to network with others within the industry itself.
Basically, the mission is to develop our young leaders, our next generation of industry leaders. That's what it's about, and to teach them and to help them grow. And then this actually it's about educating them, because we have so many students that come from non-farm, non-dairy background, but they're wanting to be involved in some way, either as a veterinarian in the dairy industry itself, maybe go back to a farm. And so this gives them on-farm experience that they may not otherwise have had, such as the older generations like myself. We tend to have come from a dairy. We experienced it our whole lives, but these younger generations, it's just a little different.
A lot of these students don't come from farms anymore, and the dairy industry is intimidating. If you've ever talked to any of these farm managers, the amount of information that they know, how progressive they are, it's intimidating, especially if you don't have any background in it. So I think that this kind of opportunity opens some of those doors that allow students to see the opportunity that before seemed unrealistic or unattainable or just scary. And so this helps create the connections, as I was talking about, as well as really shows them that this is an industry they can be a part of.
Reporting in Madison for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Here in Georgia, where poultry and peanuts are household names, it's worth noting that the state also boasts the nation's top forestry industry. Damon Jones traveled to the heart of one operation that serves as the genesis for over 200 million trees planted annually.
Forestry is big business here in Georgia, as it represents the state's fourth largest commodity and a more than $700 million in farm gate value a year. Now, it might just be one of many states considered the wood basket of the country. It certainly stands out above the rest.
Just like agriculture, forestry is one of our top industries. And not only the top industry in the state, but Georgia is the #1 state for forestry. We produce the most seedlings of any other forestry organization.
And that begins at operations like Flint River Nursery, where the long process of extracting the seed and getting it into the ground gets underway.
So at this facility, we have our own seed orchards, and we harvest the pine cones from those trees. Those cones are then taken to our seed extractory, and that's where the cones are tumbled and the seed comes out of the cones, and they are processed up there. And we sow these seeds in these long beds here, and there's about 60,000 seedlings in each bed.
And this time of year, nurseries like this are working around the clock, getting those seedlings out of the ground and shipped off to growers all over the state.
Once these trees mature over the course of the year, during the winter months, we will harvest them. And then the harvester comes through, it lifts all these trees up, they're taken inside, and they are sorted, and they are bundled up, and they're sent out to landowners. And any landowner in the state of Georgia can plant these seedlings on their property.
With their product going to areas across the state, Flint River grows more than 20 different varieties, each with their own purpose.
So the loblolly pine mostly goes north of the fall line, which is a line that goes from Columbus, Georgia to Augusta, Georgia. So mainly north part of the state is where these particular seedlings are planted. We have some what we call slash pine that's planted south of that fall line. We're actually standing south of the fall line now in this nursery. We also produce a lot of hardwood seedlings that produce the acorns, and acorns are really good for wildlife, deer, turkey, and just any kind of animal that may be on your land that you want to attract to your land. So there's lots of different purposes for the different varieties of the seedlings that we grow.
And it's not just timber being produced with all these trees, but also products that will affect people's everyday life.
The cellulose that comes from the trees goes into plastic to make football helmets, toothpaste. There's all sorts of products that you would never dream of that comes from trees. It's very exciting.
Reporting from Dooley County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
After the break, a century of dedication and the sweetest syrup that binds generations together. Patricia and Randy Morton share the timeless story of resilience, heritage, and the challenges faced by Centennial Farms.
When I think of sustainable farming, I think of being able to give something to the next generation.
I always used to joke in the old days that sustainability also means that you don't go broke.
We've taken an industry that back in the 50s, we had 50 million dairy cattle in the United States. And today, we're producing more milk with 9.5 million cows.
We've gotten more sustainable and reduced our carbon footprint as an industry tremendously.
North America is the only place in the world that has increased our milk production while decreasing our greenhouse gas emissions, making us the lowest emitters per gallon of milk in the world.
As dairy farmers, we are good stewards of the land. We want to be the good neighbors upstream, so we are very conscious of what we do, and this is why we have our best management practices.
Today we have to collect the waste from the cows and we have to store it until we can agronomically put it out on the fields, so that we manage the soils properly so we get the most bang for our buck, but we also don't pollute the streams.
That irrigation is like gold to that corn plant. It's got the nutrients plus the moisture all at the same time. It's kind of a closed loop system.
All of our cows wear an SCR collar, and it's basically a Fitbit for cows. It feeds back to a computer system that tells me how well she's eating, how much milk she gave that day, so we can individualize our cow care that way.
All of these things combined with the personal touch is what makes a dairy run. A high-producing cow and a well-managed cow that's comfortable, she will make almost twice as much milk on half as much feed.
I think the future of dairy farming is very bright because we have lots of technologies coming that will help us as far as greenhouse gas emissions that is productive and profitable.
I would like to see this business carry on to my children if they choose to do this. We keep learning how to better feed cattle, how to get more production. I want to give them every opportunity to do better than I've done.
Amidst the sprawling urban developments and changing dynamics of modern agriculture, LMM Farms in Bullitt County stands as a living testament to a bygone era, honored recently as one of 2 farms from the county to receive the prestigious Georgia Centennial Farm Award. This recognition, however, is more than just an accolade. It's a celebration of unwavering commitment, tradition, and a posthumous tribute to Lanny Lee, a man who was a master in the art of making cane syrup. The story of LMM Farms is one of dedication and a commitment to nurturing both the land and community. The farmhouse, a charming relic from the early 1900s, bears witness to generations of the Lee family's labor of love. Majestic sycamore trees planted just after the farmhouse's construction still shade the property, providing a living connection to the farm's roots. Patricia Morton and her husband Randy, now the proud owners, ensuring that the story of LMM Farms continues to be written with the same dedication and love that has characterized it for over a century. Patricia also wanting to carry forward the legacy established by her father, Lanny Lee.
It's really cool, 100 years, and I guess if I had a regret, it was that I didn't do it while Daddy, helped go through that, because he would have been so proud. And Mama died in '92, and that's when Daddy, after Mama died, he was a bit lost, but he decided after a couple of years that, I think I'd like to try to get all this going again. I'd like to do the syrup.
Lanny Lee, a true legend in the vibrant and extensive history of Georgia Farm Bureau. As vice president and later president of the Bullitt County Farm Bureau, he gained the respect and admiration of the local folks until he passed away in 2017 at the impressive age of 96. For Patricia and Randy, continuing his legacy is more than just a responsibility. It's a genuine passion. The farm now producing and distributing Lee's sugarcane syrup, serving as a living connection to the dedication and hard work that Lanny put forth every day of his life.
He believed so much in agriculture, in farming, and he spread that everywhere he went, and the love of farming.
I grew up on a farm, but when I left the farm, I had never intended to ever go back to being a farmer. So after 45 years in the media business, that took me even further away from that. But then I met a young lady that I married, and who had a heritage of that. And actually that became more of an important thing for me to see if I could bring back some of that. And so when we started getting involved with the sugarcane, it was a different kind of a crop. We have, in my opinion, better syrup because of three things. One is the variety of the mix of cane that we have here. The second is the land. This land seems to be ideally suited for sugarcane for some reason. And the third one is the cook, and that's her. She spent 8 or 10 years learning how to cook from her dad. The techniques, the principles, I would say, are the same. The techniques have changed a little bit.
Yes, Patricia and Randy have found true happiness in nurturing their sugarcane fields and producing syrup. Together, they have a burning desire that embodies the spirit of resilience and defines what a centennial farm should be. However, the award holds more than just personal significance for Patricia. It also serves as a reminder of the broader challenges facing agricultural heritage. The shifting landscape of Bullock County, once a quiet rural setting, now facing the encroachment of urban sprawl. And like so many, Patricia can't help but wonder if someday the Centennial Farm Award will become even more significant and cherished as more and more families sell off their farms.
I hope we'll try to hold on to it. Our children, they know how to, the syrup process, they know the sugar cane process. Our grandson comes and helps each year. So that part I feel pretty secure about. But who knows, some of the trials and tribulations that are coming up, that, you know, the taxes and all of that, it's going to be very tempting, I'm sure.
You're not going to get rich doing this. At least that's our experience, and maybe someone can help us with that and show us how we can change that. Right. And we'd be really interested in figuring out how to do that, to make sure that happens.
Great couple, aren't they? Up next, a lifelong dream fulfilled. Joe Garner, president of the Georgia Cattlemen's Association, and how he turned his passion for cattle into a reality.
The stakes are high when it comes to making dairy cattle breeding decisions. From rising input costs to a lucrative market for beef on dairy calves, each female requires careful consideration about her future in the herd. Dan Weigel of Zoetis reminds producers how genomic data can make an impact for dairies of all types and sizes.
Genomics are absolutely scale-free. Just raising heifers, the cost is high for everybody right now. If you're having to raise heifers, extra heifers, that means you're selling fewer of these beef calves. You want to maximize your profitability per cow.
When getting with either Clarified or Clarified Plus genomic tests from Zoetis, Weigel recommends focusing on pre-breeding heifers. Look back at performance records to analyze conception and pregnancy rates for both the current and previous generations. He asks the question, how many heifers do we want to make each year?
Heifers are actually selling for very good money right now, so rather than continue to put the expensive feed into them, we can cash those heifers in. And we really want to push people to use the information. You know, are you going to use sex semen? Are you going to make some beef cross calves? Because that really maximizes information. If we can work with you on those things.
Genomic data reveal important insights into where a female might best fit within the herd. But it's not just about immediate results.
I really challenge producers to not think about where they're at today, but what if they focus their efforts on their best animals? Would they perform better? And could this all be feasible, using more sex semen on their better animals? And again, most cases we find the answer is yes. This Holstein cow and heifer are much, much more fertile than they used to be, and we can get this done.
Results from Clarified Plus are calculated into the Dairy Wellness Profit Index, multi-trait selection that includes cow and calf wellness, production, fertility, functional type, longevity, livability, calving ability, and milk quality traits.
Continuous improvement is our mantra, so we'll continue to tweak that index and probably make it more personalized as we go forward for specific dairies.
Visit dairywellness.com to learn more about genomic testing from Zoetis. For Holstein Association USA, I'm Bob Cervera.
Well, finally this week, in just 2 short months, the Georgia Cattlemen's Association will welcome a new president. But don't anticipate any slowdown from current leader Joe Garner.
Our John Holcomb spent some time with Garner at his Union County farm, where he shared his unwavering passion for the organization and the thriving cattle industry.
For Joe Garner, this farm here and this herd of cattle is a lifelong dream that after many years has finally become a reality. Garner, whose family had cattle when he was younger, has always longed to have a herd of his own someday. And now that the day is finally here, he says it's nothing short of a blessing.
I got my interest and my feet dirty in the garden. I started driving a tractor when I was in 8th grade. We still put up hay and those kinds of things. But the cattle, they made a decision when I was 5 to market the cattle. And so I yearned for that day for cattle to come back into my life from that moment. And so I started showing calves, steers, eventually showed some heifers throughout late middle and high school. I guess it's always been a dream to have a farm. It's really a blessing to have a place like this.
In 2014, Garner decided to get involved with the Georgia Cattlemen's Association at the local level, where he has since served in various roles, the most recent of which is state president, something he considers an honor as he wholeheartedly believes in the organization and its mission to advance and advocate for the beef industry and serve the cattlemen of Georgia both in the field and Atlanta.
The Cattlemen's Association is charged to educate our producers, to help with marketing in some ways. And we also have a strong legislative component where we actively follow bills and legislation through the process each 40-day session there at the state capitol. It's really a critical link for all of us, not just the cattle producers, but all farmers in general, to kind of keep some of that legislation at bay that may cause us undue harm because they don't see it from our angle. They don't understand the implication that food and fiber doesn't just happen at a grocery store. Food and fiber happens out here in the field.
Not only does Garner believe in the Cattlemen's Association, he also believes in the power of beef and says that it's a wholesome, renewable product that not only feeds people, but enhances their lives by what beef cattle and beef cattle operations have to offer.
Beef is it's a wholesome food. It is packed with many vitamins and minerals. It's a firm source of protein, and it is renewable. It allows us to keep the green space that is critical for all of our lives across the state. You know, many people may not own cattle, but I would venture to say a majority of people enjoy cattle out grazing in a field. They enjoy that green space. And that, to me, is a critical piece to the quality of life for all Georgians.
Reporting in Blairsville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
John, thanks so much, and thanks to all of you for making this show possible.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.